Have you ever felt that your childhood was different from most people's? As if certain moments, situations, and even difficulties were pieces of a bigger puzzle that is just now starting to make sense? What if I told you that these experiences were not mere coincidences, but clear signs that your destiny was sealed long before you even understood the world around you? From an early age, some people feel a sort of silent call, an invisible force guiding every step, even if at the time there was no explanation for everything that was happening. But the truth is that there is a reason for every detail, every obstacle faced, every moment of pain or loneliness that seemed unjust in childhood. What few people know is that these events were not punishments or mere accidents, but training for something much greater. Only a select group of people went through this because, from the beginning, they were being shaped for a purpose that most cannot see. Throughout this video, we will explore deep knowledge, something that can completely change the way you see your own story. You may have spent years wondering why your childhood was marked by unusual challenges, why you seemed different from everyone around you, or even why you felt a deep connection with something you couldn't explain. But the answer to all of this cannot be revealed all at once because it needs to be understood in its entirety. Everything will be unveiled at the right time, and when this truth is completely revealed, you will understand that nothing you experienced was in vain. On the contrary, every experience was part of a preparation for something grand. So pay close attention until the end, because what you are about to discover may be the missing piece for you to finally understand your journey. Now, before we move forward, I need to ask you a few questions. Have you always felt that you saw the world differently? Did you ever have moments in your childhood when you felt completely out of place, as if you belonged nowhere? Did people around you seem not to understand your depth, your sensitivity, your way of feeling things? And despite all the difficulties, did something inside you always tell you that you were not like the others? If you identified with these questions, then know that you are not alone. There is a reason for all of this, and that is exactly what we are going to talk about. Only the chosen ones went through these experiences, those who were destined for something greater, those who carry within themselves a purpose that they do not even fully understand. And now, you are about to uncover this truth. The power of the past, how childhood defines destiny. The secret signs in childhood. From a very early age, the chosen ones realize that there is something different about them. While most children are busy simply living, playing, and adapting to the world, the chosen ones feel that something is out of place. It is a strange feeling, as if they are in a place where they do not completely belong. Even surrounded by other people, there is a persistent impression of being apart, as if they see reality differently. From a young age, they notice nuances that others ignore, understand feelings that no one verbalizes, and see beyond appearances. This perception accompanies them throughout their lives, becoming more intense with the passing years. But at that time, there was no explanation, just the strangeness of feeling out of place in their own world. This feeling of not belonging often manifests as loneliness. No matter how many people are around, the chosen ones feel a type of internal isolation. It is as if there is an invisible barrier separating them from others, an abyss that prevents a genuine connection with most people around them. This happens because the sensitivity of the chosen ones has always been greater. From childhood, they absorb the emotions and energies of people, deeply feel the pain of others, and carry a weight within themselves that they cannot explain. Often they were called too sensitive, dramatic, or even strange for reacting intensely to situations. But what the world doesn't understand is that this sensitivity is not a weakness. It is a gift that will be essential for their future mission. Furthermore, the intuition of the chosen ones has always been sharp. From childhood, they feel when something is wrong, perceive things that were not said, and sense events before they happen. How many times in childhood did you have a strong feeling that something bad was going to happen? And it did. Or felt a negative energy upon entering a place without knowing why? This ability is not common in all people. But the chosen ones have always had this gift, even without understanding its meaning. The problem is that, having no one to guide them in understanding this sensitivity, many grew up thinking they were just paranoid, or that their mind was exaggerating. But the truth is that this intuition has always been a compass, trying to point the right direction, protecting and preparing for what was to come. And the dreams? The dreams. This is one of the most striking signs of the chosen one's childhood. From a very early age, many of them had dreams that seemed more than just images created by the mind. They were visions. Vivid dreams that carried messages, symbols, and sensations so real that they seemed like lived experiences. Some of these children dreamed of people they had never seen, but whom they met years later in real life. Others had premonitory dreams, feeling that something was going to happen before it occurred. Some even had spiritual encounters through dreams, receiving messages from beings they did not understand. For most people, a dream is just a dream. But for the chosen ones, since childhood, dreams have been portals to something much greater. Another common aspect of the chosen one's childhood was the feeling of always seeking something, even without knowing what it was. From a young age, they questioned life, the universe, existence. While other children were focused on toys and cartoons, the chosen ones asked questions that made adults uncomfortable. Where do we come from? Why do we feel what we feel? Is there something beyond death? This sense of search, of dissatisfaction with superficial answers, accompanied them throughout their lives. No matter how much they tried to fit into the common world, there was always something missing. Something they had not yet found but knew, in some way, existed. The family environment was also a determining factor. Many chosen ones grew up in complicated families, faced rejection, misunderstandings, or even emotional and psychological abuse. But why? This happened because the very environment around them was a testing ground. The universe allowed these challenges to happen not to punish them, but to strengthen them. Many grew up without being understood by their own parents, siblings, or relatives, constantly being questioned about their way of being. But in reality, all of this was part of the preparation for the journey that lay ahead. Even in the face of these difficulties, there was something mysterious always present in the lives of the chosen ones: invisible protection. How many times during childhood did you go through situations that could have been disastrous, but something inexplicable happened and you came out unscathed? Accidents that seemed inevitable, and suddenly something changed at the last second? People who tried to harm you but couldn't? Imminent danger situations that you escaped from without understanding how. These were not mere coincidences. The chosen ones have always had special protection around them, ensuring that their journey continued because their purpose still needed to be fulfilled. Moreover, many chosen ones have felt from an early age the presence of something greater. Regardless of the religion or belief in which they were raised, there was always an internal feeling that something higher was guiding them. In moments of loneliness, despair, or uncertainty, there was an invisible force whispering inside them, giving comfort and hope. Many chosen children talked to themselves, but it was not a common conversation. They felt they were being heard. Some had imaginary friends, but deep down, they knew they were not just playing with their imagination. There was something real there, something that accompanied them, guided them, strengthened them even in the most difficult moments. As they grew, these signs intensified. Childhood may have seemed like chaos, a mystery, or a great enigma. But now, looking back, everything starts to make sense. The challenges, the sensations, the dreams, the intuition, the sensitivity, none of this was an accident. Each piece of this story was essential in shaping who you are today. And now that you recognize these signs, you are ready to understand the next level of this journey. But why did all this happen to you? What was the universe trying to show you since childhood? What is the true purpose behind this intense preparation? Have you ever felt that, despite everything, there is still something waiting for you? The answer to these questions will be revealed ahead, and when everything is unveiled, you will realize that you were never alone on this journey. Stay with me, because the truth you have always sought is about to be revealed. The spiritual purpose and the chosen ones. If your childhood was marked by challenges, if you always felt that your journey was different from others, know that this was not by chance. Every experience, every obstacle, and every moment of pain were part of a grand divine training. The chosen ones never have an easy life because their souls were molded for something much greater than just existing. They were called to fulfill a mission, and this mission begins from the earliest years of life. What many do not realize is that everything that happens to a chosen one in childhood has a specific purpose: to strengthen their essence, develop their resilience, and awaken their true spiritual identity. The world around them may see difficulties, but in reality, each of these challenges was a kind of preparation for what was to come. But why so many challenges? Why can't the chosen ones simply have a normal, peaceful, and painless childhood? The answer is simple: because those who carry a special mission are tested from an early age. The world does not easily accept those who possess a different glow, a unique sensitivity, and a deeper perception of reality. Often, even their own family does not understand, friends drift away, and society tries to mold the chosen ones to fit into common standards. This happens because a strong and awakened spirit will always be seen as a threat to a system that values conformity and mediocrity. However, the chosen ones were not made to follow already trodden paths. They came to open new paths, challenge illusions, and bring light where there is darkness. This resistance from the world against the chosen ones is not random. Since ancient times, those who possess a higher spiritual connection have been fought, discredited, and tested in every possible way. This is because external forces always try to prevent the chosen ones from discovering their true power. This resistance can manifest in various ways: troubled family relationships, social rejection, intense emotional problems, and even financial or health difficulties. All this is part of a distraction system designed to divert the chosen ones from their true mission. How many times have you wondered why your life seems so much harder than others? Why, even when you try to do everything right, does it seem like something always tries to pull you back? This is not a coincidence. The greater the mission, the greater the resistance. However, there is something that few understand. Pain, as difficult as it may seem, is a growth tool. The chosen ones are not destroyed by their challenges. They are shaped by them. Every obstacle they face teaches them something valuable. Rejection teaches independence. Solitude teaches self-knowledge. Injustice teaches compassion. Everything that seems like a curse is actually a disguised blessing, a necessary process to transform the chosen ones into spiritual warriors. While ordinary people despair in the face of difficulties, the chosen ones, even without realizing it, are being strengthened. Therefore, those who endure great pains generally become those who have the greatest capacity to heal and guide others. And it is no coincidence that many spiritual and divine teachings speak exactly about this. From sacred scriptures to the teachings of the oldest spiritual traditions, there is a clear pattern. Those who are called to a greater mission always face trials before fully awakening to their purpose. Moses, Jesus, Buddha, and many other spiritual leaders went through intense challenges before fulfilling their destinies. The very concept of spiritual rebirth involves the need for the symbolic death of the ego, the loss of what is not essential, and the encounter with the true essence. This means that every chosen one, before becoming who they truly are, must go through a period of pain, solitude, and trials. If you look back and analyze your own story, you will realize that everything you lived through served to shape who you are today. Those difficult moments in childhood, those feelings of inadequacy, those experiences that seemed unfair, all of this was preparation. No pain was in vain. No suffering was just a meaningless punishment. Everything had a purpose. You may not have understood it at the time, but now you begin to realize that each piece fits into a much larger plan than you imagined. What seemed like chaos was actually order. What seemed like punishment was actually learning. But the awakening of the chosen ones does not happen all at once. It is a process, a journey. Often, it takes years or even decades for them to finally understand their true nature. The world does everything to make them forget who they truly are. Life's distractions, emotional pains, negative influences, all try to distance them from their essence. But those who are chosen never manage to ignore this truth for long. There is always an internal call that pushes them back on the path. This call may come through a significant event, a moment of illumination, or even a collapse that makes them question everything. The important thing is that when this call comes, there is no going back. Now that you understand that your childhood was training, that your pain had a purpose, and that the resistance you faced was proof of your mission, an essential question arises. What to do with this knowledge? How to transform all this into something practical, something that truly takes you to the next level of your spiritual journey? The answer lies in the next steps, which will guide you to understand how to use your story to your advantage, how to unlock your true potential, and how to finally align with the destiny that has been sealed for you from the beginning. Stay tuned, because what is coming will give you the tools you need to finally understand your true role in this world. Your awakening is closer than ever, and when everything is revealed, you will never see your life the same way again. Tools to understand your past and awaken your potential. The first step to understanding your journey as a chosen one is to look at your childhood with a new perspective. Often, the experiences we consider painful or unfair actually contain powerful lessons and hidden messages about who we really are. The problem is that when we are in the midst of pain, we cannot see the purpose behind it. But now, with awakened awareness, it is time to revisit your past not as a victim of events, but as an attentive observer, looking for clues about your mission. Every event, every relationship, every challenge brought a lesson. What seemed like just a difficult phase may actually have been a test of endurance, patience, and faith. To find the signs that indicate your true mission, you need to ask yourself, what patterns have repeated in my life? Are there challenges I have faced multiple times since childhood? In what moments did I feel that something greater was guiding me? Often, the mission of a chosen one is directly linked to what caused them the most pain. If you face family difficulties, you may have been trained to help others deal with their own relationships. If you always felt a void and a constant search for meaning, you may have been called to illuminate spiritual paths. If you went through moments of injustice, you may have been shaped to fight against what is wrong. When you analyze your life from this perspective, you realize that nothing was in vain. Everything was part of a preparation. But merely understanding this is not enough. You need to learn how to transform childhood pain into strength. And this requires a process of reframing. Instead of looking at the past with resentment, you should see it as a forge, a place where your soul was shaped. Instead of asking, why did this happen to me? Ask yourself, what did this teach me? Every painful experience can be converted into wisdom and power. Solitude teaches self-sufficiency. Rejection teaches not to depend on others' approval. Loss teaches detachment. You can allow the wounds of the past to imprison you, or use them as a springboard for your evolution. The choice is yours. Now, how to put this into practice? There are tools that can accelerate this process of awakening and aligning with your purpose. One of them is therapeutic writing. Take a notebook and write about the most significant moments of your childhood. Ask yourself, what did I feel? What did I learn? How did this shape me? Often, while writing, you will perceive patterns that you did not see before and begin to connect the dots of your journey. Another powerful tool is meditation focused on healing the past. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and visualize your inner child. Tell them that you now understand everything that happened. Tell them that they are no longer alone, that you now protect and guide them. This simple practice can transform your relationship with the past and bring a deep sense of peace. Besides these practices, it is also essential to pay attention to the synchronicities of the universe. The chosen ones frequently receive signs about their path. Sometimes these signs appear in dreams, in numerical repetitions like 1111 on the clock, in messages that seem to come out of nowhere, or in unexpected encounters with people who bring the answers we were looking for. The more you open up to perceive these signs, the clearer your path becomes. Nothing happens by chance, and the universe always finds a way to communicate the right direction for those who are attentive. Another powerful practice is the use of gratitude as a transformation tool. It seems contradictory to thank for the difficulties of childhood, but this is one of the deepest secrets of spiritual awakening. When you can look at difficult moments and feel gratitude for what you learned, something changes inside you. You stop carrying that emotional weight and free yourself from the chains of the past. What was once a wound becomes a trophy of overcoming. And when you enter this state of consciousness, your energy changes, and the universe begins to open new doors for you. Additionally, never underestimate the power of connection with nature. The chosen ones have always had a deep connection with the natural world. Since childhood, many of them felt better when they were alone in nature, away from the world's confusion. Trees, rivers, mountains, and even the starry sky carry ancient wisdom that helps restore energy and bring mental clarity. Whenever you feel you are losing yourself, spend time outdoors, barefoot on the earth, breathing deeply. This simple habit can make a huge difference in your spiritual balance. Prayer or direct conversation with the divine is also a fundamental pillar in the awakening of the chosen ones. Here, it does not matter the religion. What matters is the genuine connection with the creative source. Speak out loud or mentally, express your doubts, ask for guidance. The universe responds in subtle ways, but it always responds. Often, the answer comes in the form of intuition, a thought that comes out of nowhere, or a sudden feeling of peace. When you strengthen this communication channel, you start to realize that you were never alone on this journey. And finally, one of the most transformative practices, serving others. The chosen ones were not called just to understand their own journey, but to help those who are still lost. Whenever you share your wisdom, whenever you use your experiences to guide someone, you strengthen your own mission. Knowledge that is not shared becomes stagnant. But when you help others see their own light, you strengthen yourself even more. The true purpose of the chosen ones has always been linked to collective awakening. Now that you know these tools, the question is, are you ready to apply them? Are you willing to look at your childhood with different eyes, find the hidden messages, and transform your pain into power? If so, then you are closer than ever to discovering your true purpose. And in the next step, we will reveal something even deeper, the truth that will change everything you believed about yourself. Be prepared, because what is to come is something that only the chosen ones are capable of understanding. You have come this far, and this means that something within you recognizes this truth. Every word spoken so far has resonated at some deep level of your soul, and this is not by chance. Everything that has been revealed throughout this video, the childhood signs, the challenges faced, the trials that shaped your journey, points to something grand, something you may have always felt but never could clearly name. Now, the decisive moment has arrived, the one you have waited for all this time. The final revelation is about to be made, and when it happens, you will see that nothing you went through was in vain. You will understand why your childhood was marked by experiences that seemed disconnected but were, in fact, pieces of a great spiritual puzzle. And more than that, you will have in your hands the key that can completely transform your life. Be prepared, because what is to come will change the way you see yourself and your destiny forever. The moment of revelation, why this will change everything for you. Now that all the pieces have been laid out before you, it is time to see the complete picture. Everything you experienced in childhood, the difficulties, the feeling of not belonging, the emotional challenges, the enigmatic dreams, the pains that seemed unfair, none of this was by chance. Every detail of your journey was a sign, a silent preparation for something much greater. The chosen ones are not formed in ease, for a spirit destined for greatness must be shaped by the fire of experience. You may have questioned countless times why you went through certain situations, but now the truth begins to reveal itself. Your childhood was the greatest indication that your destiny was already set long before you understood who you truly are. You were not forgotten, you were not punished, you were not placed in this world without purpose. On the contrary, your journey was carefully designed so that, at the right moment, you would awaken to your mission. What makes this revelation so powerful is that, deep down, you always knew. Even when they tried to convince you that you were just too sensitive, different, complicated, or even strange, something inside you never fully accepted these definitions. That is because your soul remembered the truth, even if your mind could not comprehend it. Everything that society tried to label as weakness was actually your greatest strength. Your sharp intuition, your ability to feel beyond what the eyes see, your connection with something greater. All of this was part of your essence, but the world around you tried to extinguish it. The chosen ones were always silenced, always misunderstood, because they carry something that disturbs those who have not yet awakened. But now it is time to accept this truth. You were never like the others because you were never destined to live like the others. And what is this truth? The destiny of the chosen ones is not to follow the common flow, not to simply exist without purpose. You were called for something greater, to see beyond what most see, to feel beyond what most feel. Since childhood, your life has been a succession of signs trying to show you this. The difficulties you face served to make you strong, to teach you to trust your own light, even when everything seemed dark. Now everything makes sense. You were always being prepared. What seemed like suffering was actually training. What seemed like loneliness was actually a moment of connection with yourself. What seemed like rejection was actually a push for you to find your true path. And if you have reached this moment, it means you are ready. Ready to accept who you are, ready to stop questioning why your life was different, and start understanding the purpose behind it. It does not matter how many times they tried to make you doubt your worth, how many times you felt lost or directionless. All of this was just part of the process. Your mission was always there, waiting for you to be ready to receive it. And now, with this awareness, you have a choice to make. Ignore this truth and continue living as if nothing had changed, or embrace your true destiny and finally take on the role for which you have always been trained. Nothing that happened in your childhood was in vain. Every moment, every pain, every overcoming was a silent reminder that you were chosen for something greater. And now, with this knowledge, your life will never be the same again. You may try to go back to what it was before, but you will no longer be able to look at your story in the same way. You have awakened to something that has always been within you. And from here, the path becomes clear. Accept this mission, strengthen yourself, and allow your light to shine without fear. The universe has brought you here for a reason, and now it is time to take the next step. Dizzy the role of resilience and faith in the journey of the chosen ones. Accepting that your childhood was a spiritual training, and that everything you experienced served to shape your purpose can be transformative, but also challenging. After all, for years, You may have carried feelings of injustice, pain, or misunderstanding. But now that you understand that none of this was in vain, the moment of decision has arrived. You can continue lamenting what happened or use this experience as a springboard for your evolution. And this is where resilience comes in, one of the greatest characteristics of the chosen ones. Resilience is the ability to rise, to reinvent oneself, and to transform each pain into wisdom. The childhood of the chosen ones was never easy, but those who embrace this journey learn that the stronger the storm, the more prepared they are to guide other people. This is precisely why so many chosen ones become mentors, healers, spiritual leaders, or simply human beings who, with their energy, inspire and transform others. But resilience alone is not enough. Faith is also necessary. Here, faith does not mean following a specific religious system, but trusting that there is a greater purpose guiding your life. Faith is understanding that, even in the most difficult moments, you were never alone. It is accepting that when everything seemed lost, an invisible force sustained, guided, and protected you. Have you noticed how many times you went through situations that could have destroyed you, but somehow you managed to continue? How many times did you feel that something inside you told you to move forward, even when everything seemed to crumble? This was not luck, it was not coincidence, it was a reminder that you have a mission and that something greater is guiding you. Accepting this truth can completely change your life. When you understand that your story has a purpose, you stop carrying the weight of the past as a cross and start seeing it as a trophy of overcoming. Suffering ceases to be a prison and becomes a tool of empowerment. The rejection that once hurt you deeply now transforms into the certainty that you never needed others' validation to be who you really are. The fear of the unknown dissolves because now you understand that, even without having all the answers, you are exactly where you should be. Chosen ones who embrace their truth become unbeatable because they no longer allow themselves to be trapped by doubts and insecurities. They follow their calling, confident that the universe will always guide them. And this change in perception reflects in all aspects of life. When you accept your journey, the people around you begin to see you differently. Your energy changes, your posture changes, your confidence strengthens. You start attracting new opportunities, new paths, and even new connections that resonate with your true essence. Before, you felt like you were swimming against the current, but now you realize that you are finally flowing at the right pace. This does not mean that the challenges will disappear. On the contrary, the chosen ones will always be tested. But now you know that every obstacle is a chance for growth, and that pain is never a sign of failure, but a sign that you are evolving. So the big question is, are you ready to accept this truth? Are you ready to look at your life with new eyes, to transform your story, and to walk with the certainty that you were never an accident, but part of a much larger plan? If so, then you have already taken the first step towards becoming what you were always destined to be. The journey will not be easy, but now you know that you were never alone. And from this moment on, every step you take will be guided by something much greater than you imagined. You are not a victim of your story, you are the protagonist of your destiny. The final confirmation, awakening to the truth. Now that you have reached this point, it is possible that something inside you has already changed. You may not fully realize it, but this journey we have taken together throughout this video has brought to light truths that have been hidden within you all along. Deep down, you always knew. You always felt that your childhood was different, that your journey had something special, that the challenges you faced were not just random. But for a long time, the world tried to convince you otherwise. They told you that you were exaggerating, that it was just your imagination, that you should be like everyone else. But now you see clearly, everything that happened was part of a larger plan. You were not forgotten, you were not a mistake, you were not a loose piece in the world. You have always been on a spiritual journey designed to awaken you at the right moment. And that moment has come. Your whole life you carried this feeling that there was something more, something waiting for you. You may have spent years trying to understand why you always felt different, why you seemed to see the world in a way that others did not, why there was always a silent call within you. Now you have the answer. You were never lost, you just hadn't found the right words to understand your own story. And that is why this message has reached you now. You needed to hear this at this exact moment. Nothing that happened was by chance. The fact that you are here, hearing this revelation, means that something inside you is ready to awaken completely. Your soul recognizes this truth, and from now on, you will never be the same. So the big question remains, what will you do with this revelation? You can simply continue with your life as if nothing has changed, pretending that you did not feel this deep connection with everything that has been said here. Or you can accept that this was the missing piece in the puzzle of your existence. You can decide, starting today, to embrace your true essence, to stop fighting against your nature, and finally allow your purpose to fully reveal itself. You have always felt that there was something waiting for you. You have always felt that there was a hidden path, a truth that could not be ignored. Now this truth has been placed before you. The choice to accept it or not is in your hands. And this journey does not have to be solitary. There are other people who have gone through the same thing as you, who have felt the same pains, who have carried the same questions. By sharing your story, you not only strengthen yourself, but also help others find their answers. So, I invite you to leave your experience in the comments. Did you identify with this message? Did any part of this revelation resonate with you? Share your journey, because the simple act of talking about it can be the point of awakening for someone else who is also seeking answers. Remember, you are not alone. The world tried to convince you otherwise, but now you know the truth. You are a chosen one, and your journey has always had a purpose. The past does not define who you are. It was only the foundation to transform you into what you were always destined to be. From this moment on, a new phase begins for you. Accept your essence. Trust your intuition. Embrace your mission. Your destiny has been sealed from the beginning, and now you have the chance to walk with full awareness of this truth. May this message have ignited a flame within you, and may it never go out. The world needs your light. Now that you know this truth, I want to know, did you also feel that your childhood was marked by signs that now make sense? Were there moments when you realized you were different, that something greater was guiding your journey, but you couldn't explain it? Share your story in the comments. Your experience can be the awakening of another person who also needs this message. And to strengthen this connection among all the chosen ones, leave the following statement in the comments as an act of faith. My childhood was a calling, and my destiny is sealed. Let's strengthen this community together and show that we are not alone. Thank you for accompanying me up to this point. If this content resonated with your heart, follow the channel, like, and share this video with those who may also identify with it. If everything you experienced in childhood was a sign of your destiny, then there is something even greater you need to understand about your future. There are powerful secrets about prosperity and purpose that have been hidden for centuries, but are now being revealed. Did you know that the greatest chosen ones in history also faced challenges before achieving unimaginable riches? You may be doing everything wrong without even realizing it. Don't let this truth pass you by. Click now on the next video and discover the shocking connection between the chosen ones and the wealth of biblical millionaires. Your life will never be the same again,